What's the difference between a student who's just there and one who's genuinely fired up to learn? It's a huge question, right? It gets to the very heart of what education is all about. Well, in this explainer, we're going to unlock the secrets to student motivation. And trust me, the answer is probably simpler than you think. I mean, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? For every single teacher, parent, or mentor out there, what is that spark? Is it just something some kids are born with and others aren't? Or, and this is the important part, is it something we can actually build? Something we can nurture? Okay, so the good news? It's not magic, not at all. It's actually a framework, a real practical step-by-step framework that anyone, and I mean anyone, can use to build that motivation and keep it going. And here it is. This is the whole shebang. It all boils down to an educator playing 3 key roles. You've got to be 1, the relationship builder, 2, the confidence coach, and 3, the curiosity architect. So let's dive in and break down exactly what each of these means. All right, let's start with the absolute foundation of it all. Pillar 1, the relationship builder. Think about it. Before you can get to the complicated stuff, before any real learning can happen, you need trust. You need to feel safe. You need connection. Because at the end of the day, learning is all about people. So how do you actually do that? Well, it comes down to 3 key things. First, just building positive, respectful relationships. Simple, right? But so important. Second, creating an environment where teamwork is the norm, where kids are helping each other out. And finally, creating a real sense of belonging, making sure everyone feels involved. When you get that right, you're not just looking at a room of individuals anymore. You've built a real community of learners. Okay, so once you've got that strong foundation of community, we can move on to the second pillar, the confidence coach. This is where we shift our focus from the group to the individual, to building up a student's belief in themselves, in their own ability to actually do the work and succeed. And look, notice how practical this is. This is not just about being a cheerleader, you can do it. No, it's way more strategic. It's about giving students a whole range of different experiences so they can see for themselves what they're capable of. It's about teaching them how to learn on their own, giving them that autonomy. And maybe the most important piece of all, it's shifting the focus away from just getting the right answer and instead celebrating the effort and the progress it took to get there. Yeah, this quote really nails it. The key word here is persevere. A great confidence coach doesn't just praise the A+, they support the struggle. They're right there with the student, helping them see that putting in the effort is what leads to real growth. And that builds the kind of resilience they need to take on pretty much anything. All right, on to our third and final pillar, the curiosity architect. So you've got students who feel connected, they feel confident. What's the last piece of the puzzle? Well, it's making the learning itself absolutely irresistible. This is where the real art of teaching comes into play. See, a curiosity architect doesn't just stand up there and list off facts. They design experiences. They figure out what students are already into and plan activities around that. They make a subject come alive by digging into its history, the amazing people behind it, even the controversies and debates. And this is so crucial. They're always building bridges from what's happening in the classroom to what's happening in the real world. And here's exactly what that looks like in the real world. You're not just talking about abstract things like geometry. No way. You're connecting it to the cool architecture and design in the buildings they walk past every single day. And history, it's not just a boring list of dates. It's about their own family's story or the issues happening right in their own town. That's what makes learning feel relevant. That's what makes it matter. So let's put it all together. You've got your 3 pillars: relationship builder for community, confidence coach for self-belief, and curiosity architect for engagement. But here's the real magic. They're not separate things you do. They're all connected. It's a powerful cycle that feeds itself. When a student feels like they belong, they get brave enough to try things and build confidence. That confidence then makes them more curious. And when they're curious, they engage more, which strengthens the relationships in the whole class. See? Each pillar makes the other stronger. So if you take away just one thing, let it be this simple, but honestly pretty profound framework. If you really want to spark that motivation, you've got to be all 3 of these things: a relationship builder, a confidence coach, and a curiosity architect. They're different roles for sure, but you absolutely need all of them. And that brings us to one last question, and it's really a question for you to think about. When you reflect on your own role, whether you're a teacher, a mentor, a parent, which one of these pillars are you going to focus on strengthening first? Because the choice you make, well, that could be the spark that changes everything.